Okay, so basically what I'm going to be going through today is some of the reporting capabilities that you have within GP. Okay, just which versions of G, I take it everyone's kind of running a relatively new version of GP. So just quickly off the bat, is anyone using FRX still, or is everyone using Management Reporter?
Management Reporter I'm using.
Okay. So you're using Management Reporter. Are you running GP 2010 or 2013?
2010.
2010.
2010. Okay. Okay. And how do you find Management Reporter? Do you find you get an awful lot out of it? Are you using the publishing to the web part of it? Are you using the security part of it? Okay. No problem at all. Did you know you could publish them to a web page rather than the library?
Yes.
Fine. Okay, no problem. Well, basically what I'm going to start off by going through Management Reporter. Then I'm going to go through the reporting services reports that you can get, that you get as part of Dynamics GP. Then I'll go on to the Excel reports, and then on to the analysis cubes that you get as part of GP 2013. Do any of you guys use any of the Excel reports or reporting services reports that you get out of the box at the moment?
Not out the box ones. We've made our own.
Right.
Yep, same here.
Right. Management Reporter. So what I'll do, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So what I'm going to do is from my standard reports, I'm going to do just run a very, very simple report for itself. Just got some very, very simple simple range of rows. And a very, very simple column layout as well. Very, very straightforward. So when it comes to generating the report, at time of generation, you can either do it to the library, which is the central repository for where people go and pick reports up from, or also if you are using SharePoint, you can generate to a SharePoint location if you're using that. So I'm just going to generate this report. Okay, what you can do, as per normal, you can actually just drill down, but you can, when you email this, it will actually send it as a hyperlink. Now what you can actually do with that hyperlink, I meant to click on the copy link button, so bear with me. What it would actually do is just create a web page link. Now with the newer versions of Management Reporter, you do get unlimited viewer licenses. So what you can actually do is you can set as many people up within the organisation who need to view different elements of the financial reports, whether it be budget holders, so on and so forth, with access to Management Reporter, where they can just view it via the web link. So if you bear with me 1 second, close. And open up Internet Explorer. Unfortunately, the clipboard's not working. What will happen is you basically just paste that into the Internet Explorer, and what they will actually do is it will open up the Management Reporter report in a web page with the drill down built into it, and because you will have assigned X number of users within the Management Reporter security to get to whether it be the whole report or the individual levels of the report, they will be able to view that within the web page itself. Okay. Was there anything specifically with regard to Management Reporter that any of you would like to know how to do?
I think just a tour of what it can do. I think we've sort of deployed it and tinkered with it a little bit, but it would be nice just to just get an overview of what it can and can't do, and
sure.
what's there out of the box.
Sure. Did you understand the element I was just talking about with regard to the security and doing it via a web page?
Yes, that's it could be useful for us. It would be a limited audience, I think, for something like that.
Sure. One thing that's quite good, and as with FRX, with Management Reporter, what you can do from a security perspective is most of the security with regard to limiting what people can actually see is done from within a tree. So this is just a reporting tree I've got broken down by department. So what you can do within a tree is there is a security element where once you've set your users up within Management Reporter, and whether they be individual users or individual groups, what you can actually do is when you generate the report, if you have assigned security within the tree to that branch itself, the user will only be able to see that part of the report. So when it gets generated, whether it be to the library or whether you do it to the report viewer, they will only be able to see financial information for them. So it's good for things like payroll information, salary, so on and so forth. In addition to that, I'm just going to go back into my reports and just run that report again. Sorry, my management report has frozen. Basically what you can do is you can assign security within the report library so that specific users can only see certain elements of the report library itself. The other benefit you've got is obviously anything that's in the library, it does store all the history that's ever gone to it. So if you've generated a load of reports over the space of 36 months, to save the finance department having to go back in and rerun reports for a specific financial period that doesn't exist anymore, what you can actually do is get the users who have access to the library to go in and run their own reports. From there, they can actually just download that into Excel as per normal. It's quite good, Management Reporter. I mean, it is purely and simply financial reporting, but you can output it to, as I said, to security web pages. You can do it to SharePoint and obviously directly to Excel itself. Okay, any questions?
Not at this point in time, no.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just log into my GP. Okay, so the next bit I'm going to move on to is the out-of-the-box reporting services reports that you get as part of GP itself. And there are hundreds of these available within the system. Okay, so by clicking on my financial page, what you have is, as well as the standard list that you get as part of the system, you also have reporting services reports. So if I click on these, what this will do is display a list of default reports that are available out of the box. So for argument's sake, if I wanted to do a trial balance, I simply double click on it in GP, and what it does, it opens up the reporting services report, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it for 2014. And for all my account numbers, and I'm going to sort it by my department. I'll click View My Report. Then what we have is I then have my demo company general ledger trial balance in detail on the web. Now the benefit to that is these could also be available to users who don't have access to GP. Because that is just a web page link, you can publish this on your intranet however you so desire. The other benefit that you have in using the reporting services reports now, one of the biggest problems that's always been with GP is if you wanted to export a trial balance into Excel, very, very difficult. So what you can do now, once this has actually generated, you can then export it to a CSV, PDF, or Excel file. So I'm just going to export that to Excel. And there we have my trial balance straight into Excel. If you don't want to actually get into that from GP and you just wanted to access these reports directly from the web itself, you have a shortcut link to your reporting services reports, and you'll see these are broken down by company. And there's quite a few of them available. I'm just going to go into my UK company. And let's say I want to have a look at my trial balance for my sales ledger. There we go, and I'm actually going to do all of them. There we go. There is a summary trial balance for all of my debtors. What we're actually going to do is just rerun that so it's in detail. There we have it. And as with any reporting services report, you can very, very simply drill through. Because this is an individual report itself, again, you can send people a link to that hyperlink, or because it's reporting services, if you have the skills in-house, they are relatively simple to amend and change however you like. With regard to the amount that are available, you'll see it's broken down into virtually all the ledgers that are available within GP. So you've got sales ledger, purchase ledger, general ledger, also project accounting, inventory, and any of the field services modules that you may use. What you can also do is you can do multi-company reporting. So if you wanted to do multi-company receivables aging, and nowadays when everyone's got consolidated companies, I can then double click on that, and it drills down and shows me values, and I can double click again and it takes me down and shows my individual aging buckets. So if I want to see what's in 61 and over, I can double click, and there we have all the individual transactions that fall within that range. You can also link directly back into GP from here to have a look at the individual debtor. Oops. Or to the individual invoice. So the links that are there, provided you have GP loaded locally, are very, very simple to use. And it's a good way of going, I need to see where that's been applied, so on and so forth. There we go. I can click on a little bit of an expansion and it gives me even more information related to that particular report. So all those 4 reports have come from is a very, very simple consolidated aged debtors by company, by balance, by bucket, and then drill down to the individual invoice and a further expansion to see the details. So the availability for the information is actually very, very good, specifically if you don't have access to GP itself. Is there any questions on the reporting services aspect?
Nope, not at the minute.
Something, do you guys kind of use that sort of thing anyway?
Again, it's something that we sort of develop in-house, and we tend to use Excel, tapping into the back end of the database rather than
so you do
what's
direct
provided
queries.
there. Yeah.
Right. Okay. No problem. What you can do is if you've written your own reporting services reports, they will appear within this screen as well. So it doesn't just have to be the ones out of the box. It can be your own individual reports that you've written. In addition to that, what you can do is on your home page, you can pick any of the reports that you have set up in reporting services to automatically display on your home page as you've just seen in the reporting services itself. Okay. So, moving on to the Excel reports. Now, does anyone use any of the Excel reports that come straight out the box?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No.
Okay, they're pretty good actually. It's just very similar to what you guys do. It's just a way of linking directly into the database tables and bringing it back into Excel. But nowadays, with the tools that are available in Excel, such as Power Pivot, it's very, very good to slice and dice information. So I'm going to go into my sales ledger, and once again, I've got a different range, but this time I'm going to go for my Excel reports. So I'm going to have this month's receivables sales. Okay, so that's everything that's gone through this particular month. Now what I could do is I could very easily put a pivot table on there where I want my customer number, document date, and sales amount. So once I save this, when I come back in, what it will automatically do is it will automatically refresh the data. So this is a good way of having Excel information on my desktop that I'm not logged into GP for. I can have any amount of information that I like, and because it's a pivot table, you can drill down. It shows you the information. Again, because of the tools that are available, you could link a Power Pivot directly to a report that you've already set up. If mine was set up, where you could actually add the Power Pivot elements onto there if you so desire. With regard to the reports that are actually available, you have sales, you have financial, you have purchasing, and they are purely and simply direct links into the database at the back end. And because they're direct to the table, they are very, very quick to load. And because they go directly into Excel, you can then use your standard Excel functions with the auto filter, so on and so forth. Any questions on the Excel reports?
No.
Nope, not from that perspective.
Okay, right, so the last thing I'm going to show you for the time being is the analysis cubes, which you get straight out of the box as part of GP 2013. I'm just going to close all my Excel. Okay, right. So with regard to my data, and you guys who are doing direct links into the database at the back end, you'll know how to do this already. But there are a number of analysis cubes which you get out of the box as part of GP 2013. So the cubes that are available are as follows. You have financials, so it's a good way of linking financial information, inventory, payables, purchasing, so that's purchase order processing, receivables, and sales, which is sales order processing. And basically what these have into them is a number of dimensions, so things like days overdue, average days to pay, so on and so forth, automatically built in, so you don't have to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one against the purchase ledger. So I'm going to go into my payables, and I'm just going to standard pivot table. So you see I have a number of fields that are available. So what I'd like to do is I want to add my vendor name onto the row. And then along the top, what I would like to do is I'm going to have my periods in the year. And so then what I'd like to see is the total amounts that's gone through in those years. Outstanding. So once again, I've got my drill down, and I have my expansions automatically within those years for me. What you could also do if you wanted to is you could build reports that are charts as opposed to just tables, and they can have pretty dashboards and do whatever you like to do. They're available for sales ledger, purchase ledger, general ledger, inventory, purchase order processing, sales order processing. And they are pretty simple to use, so it's a good way of slicing and dicing the data to get back information that you want. Any questions on that?
No, not from me.
Okay. Sure. Now that's obviously the standard things that come out of the box with regard to GP. There are further reporting tools that are available, which are add-ons. You have things such as BI360. You have Jet Essentials, which is an Excel-based reporting tool. Jet Enterprise, which is a data warehousing tool, which is based on analysis services. You have Sharperlight in addition. And if you'd like to know more on those, we will be conducting some additional sessions on them. Does anyone have any general reporting requirements / questions from GP, or their current version of GP, or things they'd like to be able to know how to do?
No, not from me.
No, thank you. That's fine.
Okay, well thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.